Hey y'all, this sorry, it's Kim. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. This is the Senate torture report. This will be video number 34. But the actual name of it's the report of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, Committee Study of the Central Intelligence Agency's Detention and Interrogation Program. And then remember, after 9/11, many suspected terrorists were detained for extended periods and tortured, according to this report. So let's get into this. We're on page 323. So, after conducting extensive surveillance of Sajid Badat, UK authorities arrested Badat on November 27, 2003. Badat immediately cooperated with UK investigators and confirmed he withdrew from a shoe bomb operation with Richard Reed in December of 2001. On November 28, 2003, the United Kingdom provided a detailed account of the CIA or to the CIA on how investigative efforts in the United Kingdom led to the identification of Sajid Badat, noting that key aspects of reporting acquired from CIA, U.S. military, and foreign government detainees matched those of redacted specific UK intelligence collection on Sajid Badat. The redacted specific UK intelligence collection on Sajid Badat was not previously referenced in UK investigative updates to the CIA. After pleading guilty to a UK court on February 28, 2005, to terrorism-related charges, Sajid Badat was sentenced to 13 years in prison. Sajid Badat was voluntarily cooperative throughout much of his pre-sentencing incarceration. Oh, something was redacted here. Sorry. On November 13th, 2009, Sajid Badat's 13-year prison sentence was reduced to 11 years in March 2010. Approximately 5 years after his sentencing, Sajid Badat was released under an agreement where Badat became a cooperating witness for UK or US and UK authorities. The legal agreement came to light when Sajid Badat testified against Addis Mandanjanan, a U.S. terrorism suspect on trial in New York, via a video link from the United Kingdom in April of 2012, the thwarting of the Heathrow Airport and Canary Wharf plotting. So there's more, footnotes. So, summary: the CIA represented that its enhanced interrogation techniques were effective and produced critical, otherwise unavailable intelligence which thwarted plots and saved lives. Over a period of years, the CIA provided the identification and thwarting of the Heathrow Airport plot as evidence for the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. These representations were inaccurate. A review of records indicates the Heathrow Airport and Canary Wharf plotting had not progressed beyond the initial planning stages when the operation was fully disrupted, with the detentions of Ramzi bin al-Shibh, KSM or Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Ammar al-Baluchi, and Khalid bin Atash. None of these individuals were captured as a result of reporting obtained during or after the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques against CIA detainees. Further details: after the September 11, 2001 attacks against the United States, KSM sought to target the United Kingdom using hijacked aircraft and surmised that Heathrow Airport and the building in Canary Wharf, a major business district in London, were powerful economic symbols. The initial plan was for Al-Qaeda operatives to hijack multiple airplanes departing Heathrow Airport, turn them around, and crash them into their airport itself. Security was assessed to be too tight at Heathrow Airport, and the plan was altered to focus on aircrafts, departing from mainly Eastern European airports to conduct attacks against Heathrow Airport. Al-Qaeda was unable to locate pilots to conduct these attacks. Yeah, because it's a one and done. Duh. I just don't see how somebody could have that mentality that you just gonna kill yourself. I don't know with it, but anyway, sorry. I just don't understand it. Okay, once KSM was detained in Pakistan on March 1st, 2003, responsibility for the planning, excuse me, was passed to Amar al-Baluchi and Khalid bin Atash, who were at the time focused on carrying out attacks against Western interests in Karachi, Pakistan. The thwarting of the Heathrow Airport and Canary Wharf plotting is one of the 8 most frequently cited examples provided by the CIA as evidence for the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. Over a period of years, CIA documents prepared for and provided to senior policymakers, intelligence officials, and the Department of Justice represent the Heathrow Airport and Canary Wharf plotting as an example of how key intelligence collected from HVD interrogations after applying interrogation techniques has enabled CIA to disrupt terrorist plots and capture additional terrorists. The CIA further represented that the intelligence acquired from the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques was otherwise unavailable and saved lives. Okay, so when they say unavailable, I wasn't understanding what that meant. I get it now because they kind of explained it earlier, but it's basically stuff that they would have not been able to get had it not been for these so-called people. But we know that's not true. More footnotes if you want to pause it and watch that. Okay. So, for example, on December 23rd, 2005, CIA Director Porter Goss explained in a letter to National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley, Homeland Security Advisor Francis Townsend, the Director, sorry, I keep yawning, and Director of National Intelligence John Negroponte, that he was, more footnotes, suspending the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques because of the passage of the Detained Treatment Act, the McCain Amendment. The letter stated only 29 or CIA detainees have undergone an interrogation that used one or more of the 13 CIA enhanced interrogation techniques. These interrogations produced intelligence that allow the U.S. and its partners to disrupt attacks such as 9/11 style attacks planned for the U.S. West Coast and for Heathrow Airport. I can inform you with confidence that this program has allowed the U.S. to save hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. Similarly, the CIA informed the CIA Inspector General on February 27, 2004, that as a result of the lawful use of EITs or enhanced interrogation techniques, KSM, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, also provided information on an Al Qaeda plot for suicide airplane attacks outside of the United States that would have killed thousands of people in the United Kingdom. Of note, even after KSM reported that Al Qaeda was planning to target Heathrow, he at first repeatedly denied there was any other target than the airport. Only after the repeated lawful use of EITs did he stop lying and admit that the sketch of a beam labeled Canary Wharf in his notebook was in fact an illustration that KSM, the engineer, drew himself in order to show another AQ operative that the beams in the wharf, like those in the World Trade Center, would likely melt and collapse the building, killing all inside. We're still debriefing detainees and following up on leads to destroy this cell. But at a minimum, the lawful use of EITs on KSM provided us with critical information that alerted us to these threats. The CIA provided similar inaccurate representations regarding the Heathrow and Canary Wharf plotting in 20 of the 20 documents provided to policymakers and the Department of Justice between July 2003 and March of 2009. A review of CIA operational cables and other documents found, contrary to CIA's representations, information acquired during or after the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques played no role in alerting the CIA to the threat to or disrupting the plotting against Heathrow Airport and Canary Wharf. Prior to the detention and interrogation of the CIA detainees credited by the CIA with providing information on the plot, the CIA and other intelligence agencies were already alerted to al-Qaeda's efforts to target Heathrow Airport. Specifically, the CIA knew that one, KSM and al-Qaeda were targeting a national symbol in the United Kingdom, and that this symbol was the Heathrow Airport. The attack plan called for hijacking commercial aircraft and crashing them directly into Heathrow Airport. No pilots had been identified by al-Qaeda, and the planned attack was not imminent. KSM, Ammar al-Baluchi, and Ramzi bin al-Shibh were involved in or acknowledged or knowledgeable, about the plotting. Al-Qaeda was seeking to recruit numerous operatives, but potentially already had two operatives in place in the United Kingdom named Abu Yusuf and Abu Adel, although the two operatives were unwitting of the plots. And KSM was seeking Saudi and British passport holders over the age of 30 for the attack. A review of records indicates that the Heathrow Airport plotting had not progressed beyond the initial planning stages when the operation was fully disrupted with the detentions of Ramzi bin al-Shibh, detained on September 11, 2002, and the KSM detained on March 1st, 2003, Ammar al-Baluchi detained on April 23rd or 29th, 2003, and Khalid bin Attash detained on April 29th, 2003. There are no CIA records to indicate that any of the individuals were captured as a result of CIA detainee reporting. A draft national terrorism bulletin from March 2006 states the Heathrow Airport operation was disrupted mid-cycle around the spring of 2003 when several of the key plotters, including KSM, were detained. Foreign government intelligence analysis came to the same conclusion. While each of these four detainees provided information on the plotting during their detentions, none of this information played any role in the disruption of a plot. A wide body of intelligence reporting indicates that no operatives were informed of the more footnotes of the plot. No pilots were ever identified by al-Qaeda for the attacks, and only schedules of potential flights were collected for review. CIA detainee records indicate the reporting from CIA detainees on aspects of the Heathrow plotting was often unreliable and not believed by CIA officers. For example, KSM retracted information he provided while being subjected to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, including information linking Jafar al-Tayyar to the Heathrow plot. On May 20th, 2003, nearly 2 months after the CIA ceased using its enhanced interrogation techniques against KSM, a CIA analyst wrote that KSM had provided 3 different stories related to the Heathrow plotting. Writing to CIA colleagues, bottom line, KSM knows more about this plot than he's letting on. By late June of 2004, KSM had retracted much of the varied reporting he had provided on the Heathrow plotting. Most importantly, the information KSM provided on tasking potential operatives to attain flight training. KSM stated that during March of 2003, when he was being subjected to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, he may have given false information, and that in many cases, the information he provided was just speculation. The value of the other CIA detainee reporting was also questioned by CIA officers. In July 2003, a cable from the CIA's ALEC station stated that HQ's and ALEC remains concerned with what we believe to be paltry information coming from detainees about operations in the UK. In addition, KSM withheld information linking Abu Talha al-Pakistani to the Heathrow plotting. According to CIA interrogation records, KSM discussed Canary Wharf the first time he was shown his notebook in which the words Canary Wharf were written. KSM stated, however, that he had drawn the sketch of Ammar al-Baluchi in June of 2003 After being confronted with the contradictory reporting from Amar al-Baluchi, KSM admitted that he had actually shown the sketch to Talha, whom KSM had not previously mentioned, in the capture of Hambali. Summary: the CIA represented that its enhanced interrogation techniques were effective and produced critical, otherwise unavailable intelligence which thwarted plots and saved lives. Over a period of years, the CIA provided the capture of Hambali as evidence of the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. Specifically, the CIA consistently represented that as a result of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, KSM provided the first information on a money transfer by Majid Khan that eventually led to Hambali's capture. These CIA representations were inaccurate. Majid Khan, who was in foreign government custody, provided this information prior to any reporting from KSM. CIA records indicate that the intelligence that led to Hambali's capture in Thailand was based on signals intelligence, a CIA source, and Thai investigative activities. More footnotes. So further details, Ridwan maybe, Ben Isamuddin, Isamuddin, aka Hambali. How the hell you get that Hambali out of that? Was a senior member of Jima Islamiyah or JI, a Southeast Asia-based terrorist group, and served as an interface between the JI and Al Qaeda. Hambali was linked to terrorist activity prior to September 11th, 2001 attacks. Shortly after these attacks, Hambali was described as the CIA's number one target in Southeast Asia. When the October 12, 2002 terrorist attacks occurred on the Indonesian island of Bali, killing more than 200 individuals, Hambali was immediately suspected of being the mastermind of the attacks and was further described as one of the world's most wanted terrorists. The capture of Hambali is one of the 8 most frequently cited examples provided by the CIA as evidence for the effectiveness of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. Over a period of years, CIA documents prepared for and provided to senior policymakers, intelligence officials, and the Department of Justice represent the capture of Hambali as an example of how key intelligence collected from HPD interrogations after applying interrogation techniques had enabled CIA to disrupt terrorist plots and capture additional terrorists. The CIA further represented that the intelligence acquired from the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques was otherwise unavailable and saved lives. More footnotes. As an example, in a briefing prepared for the President's Chief of Staff, George Bolton, on May 2nd, 2006, the CIA represented that the use of the DOJ authorized enhanced interrogation techniques as part of a comprehensive interrogation approach has enabled us to disrupt terrorist plots, capture additional terrorists, and collect a high value or volume of critical intelligence on Al Qaeda. The briefing documents represents that assessing the effectiveness of individual interrogation techniques is difficult, but provides 11 specific examples of key intelligence collected from HPD interrogations, including Hambali's capture. During KSM's interrogation, we acquired information that led to the capture of Hambali in August of 2003 and to the partial dismantling of the Jamia Islamiyah leadership in Southeast Asia. KSM first told us about Majid Khan's role in delivering $50,000 to Hambali operatives for an attack KSM believed was imminent. We then confronted Khan with KSM's admission and signals intelligence, confirming the money transfer and Khan's travel to Bangkok. Khan admitted he delivered the money to an operative named Zubair, whom we subsequently identified and captured. Zubair's capture led to the identification and subsequent capture of an operative named, more footnotes, named Lily, who was, is that what her name? I want to make sure. Named Lily, who is providing forged passports to Hambali. Lily identified the house in Bangkok, where Hambali was hiding. Similarly, on July 13th, 2004, the CIA disseminated an intelligence assessment entitled Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Preeminent Source on Al Qaeda. On April 22nd, 2005, the paper, as well as other materials on CIA detainee reporting, was faxed from CTC Legal to the Office of Legal Counsel at the Department of Justice to support the OLC's legal review of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques. The document stated information that KSM provided on Majid Khan in the spring of 2003 was the crucial first link in the chain that led us to the capture of prominent JI leader and Al Qaeda associate Hambali in August of 2003, and more than a dozen Southeast Asian operatives slated for attacks against the U.S. homeland. KSM told us about Majid Khan's role in delivering $50,000 in December of 2002 to operatives associated with Hambali. Majid Khan, who had been detained in Pakistan in early 2003, was confronted with KSM's information about the money and acknowledged that he believed the money, delivered the money to an operative named Zubair. Based on that information, Zubair was captured in June of 2003. On August 24, 2009, this document was declassified with redactions and publicly released with the accurate information unredacted. The CIA provided similar inaccurate representations regarding the capture of Hambali in 18 of the 20 documents provided to policymakers and the Department of Justice between July 2003 and March of 2009. In these representations, the CIA consistently asserted that after applying the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, KSM provided the crucial first link that led to the capture of Hambali. A review of CIA operational cables and other records found that information obtained from KSM during and after the use of the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques played no role in the capture of Hambali. A review of CIA records further found that prior to reporting from CIA detainees subject to the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques, the CIA had intelligence on Hambali's role in the Jamia, Islamiyah, funding by Al Qaeda and KSM of Hambali's terrorist activities. The operative to whom Majid Khan delivered the money, Zubair, and Zubair's links to terrorism, Jamia Islamiyah, and Hambali, and Majid Khan's $50,000 money transfer from Al Qaeda to Zubair in December of 2002. CIA records indicate that the intelligence that led to Hambali's capture was based on signals intelligence, a CIA source, and Thai investigative activities in Thailand. Prior to his capture, Hambali was known to have played a supporting role in the KSM and Ramzi Youssef Bojinka plot, an effort in early 1995 to place explosives on 12 United States flagged aircraft and destroy them mid-flight. By the end of 2001, Hambali was suspected of playing a supporting role in the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks, as well as helping to enroll Zacharias Moussaoui in flight school. By early 2002, a body of intelligence reporting unrelated to the CIA's detention and interrogation program indicated that KSM was providing Hambali with funding to conduct terrorist operations in Southeast Asia. In March of 2002, Hambali was described as the CIA's #1 target. More footnotes. In Southeast Asia, that same month, the FBI provided information to the CIA stating that foreign government detainee reporting indicated that KSM reimbursed terrorism-related expenditures made by Hambali for the JI. By June of 2002, the CIA entered into discussions with representatives of the redacted government regarding their willingness to accept custody of Himbali once he was captured. On September 25th, 2002, the CIA reported that an individual in FBI custody since May of 2002, Mohammed Mansour Jabara, reported that in November 2001, he collected $50,000 from KSM for a Himbali directed terrorist operation targeting U.S. interests, as well as at least one other $10,000 payment. On the same day, September 25th, 2002, a CIA cable stated that Mazran bin Arshad, while in the custody of a foreign government, had detailed his connection to Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti and KSM. According to bin Arshad, after KSM's second wave plotting was abandoned in late 2001, bin Arshad was taken by KSM to meet with Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti in Pakistan and to deliver $50,000 to Himbali for terrorist operations. Bin Arshad stated he was unable to deliver the money when the October 12, 2002 terrorist attacks occurred on the Indonesian island of Bali, killing more than 200 individuals. Himbali was immediately suspected of being the mastermind of the attacks and was further described as one of the world's most wanted terrorists. Open source information in October of 2002 identified the funding for the Bali bombings as flowing through Himbali from al-Qaeda leadership in Pakistan. Through November 2002, news reports highlighted links between senior al-Qaeda leadership, including KSM and JI, in the context of the Bali bombings. Himbali continued to be identified as a potential mastermind of the bombing and likely residing in Thailand. These same reports identified a Malaysian named Zubair as one of three individuals sought by security officers for the Himbali-linked Bali bombings. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. That got us a few extra pages, but there's more footnotes down here if you want to stop it and read that part. I'm not wasting my time with that. This is enough information. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.